Go ahead.
Yo, what up? So I was calling on this Q7 for a crank no start. Customer states that they replaced the timing chain. Now the vehicle doesn't want to start. Power scanner was fired and still doesn't want to start, right? So let's put a scan tool on this and see what's going on. So what I'm seeing here when I do a scan, I'm seeing that I'm getting some glow plug circuit issues and some crank position, cam position correlation issue also, right? Is it timing? I'm not sure. As I said, they said that they took the engine down to replace the timing chain rig, so I was called in to see if I can rectify this problem for them. Let's do some checks before we attempt to do anything on this vehicle. These vehicles at times have fuel issues, and these guys also like to start messing around with electrical circuits. So we just don't want to just, start to dig up and stuff also. So we got to make sure, everything is hooked up properly, everything is connected, and we get what we're supposed to get, right? So right now I got the maintainer on. I'm just going to just inspect the fuse panel to make sure like all the fuses where they're supposed to be and they're intact, right? And after that, I just got someone to crank over, and while you're cranking, you're hearing like the engine is skipping, like definitely some issue when it comes to the timer, right? So let's take a look at the codes that I get, and you definitely see like a Christmas tree, right? Sorry about the poor lighting, the loud noise and stuff like that. I'm in someone else's garage doing some diagnosing, and I don't have my gears with me, so I just got my phone, right? So I'm just gonna look up some PIDs and see if it, could give me some guidance and see what's going on, right? But you definitely hear the sound like it's lacking compression. So I'm gonna pull up anything that I have related to fuel, right? So that will let me know that I have no issue with the low pressure pump and the high pressure pump, right? And why this vehicle is not, working like it's supposed to. They said the vehicle was driving fast, it was doing what it's supposed to, and they just replaced the timing chain. And I mean, a few times, I think it was like twice or something like that, they changed glow plugs and all these things, and it's still having this issue. So let's verify and make sure that's not a fuel problem that's holding this vehicle back from starting, right? As I said, it was running at one time, but it stopped. But you're supposed to get like, let's say 200 RPM on the from the engine. That's telling me the crank sensor is working, and also I'm looking at my fuel pressure and compare it to my desire, right? So these two are supposed to be like matching or close, especially on cranking. Once that's good, I want to move on and make sure that the glow plugs and all these other things is intact, right? So they had the glow plugs unplugged when it's cranking, so that could explain why the fault code popped up, right? But I'm gonna pull a glow plug and inspect them. Matter of fact, I'm gonna pull all. I'm gonna watch and see exactly if they are wet, and this let me know that the injectors are firing. But you want to be cranking this too much because you're gonna get cylinder wash, and that's gonna damage the engine over a period of time. But for now, these glow plugs are definitely wet, and that's letting me know the injectors are good, right? So let's go and try to blow this out. I'm trying to see if I could get as much diesel out of these cylinders because I don't want to hydro-lock this engine by continuously cranking, and that's going to flood the engine and damage the engine eventually, right? So let's see if we can blow out as much as we can, right? And then we do our test. Seeing that I got that done, right, and these glow plugs are new, I'm just going to wipe off the diesel and reinstall them, right? So I'm going to do a RC test on this, make sure that I have good compression before I do anything else. And if I don't have good compression, I gotta see where the compression is going, because it don't make no sense to be chasing after crank and cam and other electrical stuff if we don't have good compression in this engine and the timing is off. So as I said, it definitely sounds like the timing is off. So I'm just gonna put these back in and grab my scope so I can do a relative compression test, man. Because it doesn't make no sense to go after like anything electrical knowing that we have a mechanical issue, right? And I believe we have a mechanical issue. I'm not gonna shy away from that and chase ghosts, right? So as I said, I'm gonna just put these back in. I gotta make sure also I got all the connectors hooked up, because as I said, I got some glow plug faults at first, but most likely is because they had it unplugged while it was cranking. There's only a few places where this compression could be going, right? If it's going into the coolant passageway, or if it's going into, let's say, through the exhaust valve, the intake valve, What else can it go? It can go through like the oil pan, the down in the sump. So I'm gonna put my pulse sensor on my exhaust. I'm gonna hook one up on the dipstick to see if it's going past my crankcase, if it's the rings. I'm not sure if they said that they did some rings on this or not, but or they replaced the rings. Sorry, but as I said, I'm just gonna hook up the scope, right, and get some capture just to give me some guidance instead of me, chasing my tail with this thing. Because I mean, you see, this engine may have no room to be, putting my hands all the time. So I definitely gotta get some kind of guidance on how to attack this, right? So we got a crank no start, and we gain everything else, but basically sound like compression, right? We gain fuel, we gain air, we gain all that good stuff. So that's kind of eliminate everything else. And what do a diesel need? You need high compression to in order to get this vehicle up and running. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. Yeah, my apologies. I don't have my tripod on me, right? So I just came to the shop and I didn't grab my equipment. So, I just apologize for going back and forth, right? But let's analyze this waveform and see what we get. So basically what I'm seeing here, I'm seeing uneven wave pattern, right? And it doesn't look good for this engine at all, right? So the firing order is 143625, right? And it doesn't look good at all, man. You're getting inconsistent compression along the way, right? So let me show you exactly what I'm talking about. I'm synced off for number one on the red waveform, and the blue is the relative compression. But I'm going to show you what I'm talking about on the graph. Basically, it's self-explanatory. You're getting good compression in some, and basically a dead hole, especially in one of them, right? And I'm suspecting that is number 3. So I'm going to go basically in cylinder, and I'm going to also hook up my pressure waveform tools on the dipstick and also on the exhaust, right? So this is how my setup is. I'm going to show you also how my companion cylinder in this engine is a V6. So basically 1 and 6 together, 2 and 4, and 3 and 5 is they sync together, right? Seeing that my RC test failed, I gotta go in cylinder and see if I could get some additional information to narrow down this diagnosing, right? I'm just trying to obtain as much information as I can to let the shop owner know what his next move is. So it looks like it's only affecting cylinder 1 to 3, and that's on one bank, right? I'm not saying it's not affecting the next bank, but it definitely is a problem on cylinder 1, between cylinder 1 to 3. All right, so the blue waveform is synced on number 1. The red is in cylinder number 3. The green is the exhaust pulse, and the yellow is the dipstick. Right, so what I'm seeing here, this basically paints a whole picture, man. Right, so I'm watching this red waveform, right? So these are called my compression towers, right? And I'm supposed to be getting like 2 peaks every 720 degrees, right? So let's open this up. So right now you're seeing 3 peaks. So if I'm going from this peak to the end peak, I'm supposed to get like 720 degrees. So basically I'm getting an extra peak in the between those 2 peaks. So that's letting me know that I have a restriction somewhere. Most likely is my exhaust valve that's not opening, and it's causing a restriction, right? Is it a catalyst problem? No, it's not. The vehicle is not running. I'm not feeling no pressure or anything like that, but right now it's letting me know that this engine definitely has to retime or pull down again and do whatever they gotta do. But it's definitely have a restriction on my exhaust valves, where my exhaust valve is not opening in time, right? To basically it's late, right? It's happening on the intake side when it's supposed to be more like bottom dead center between that 2 gray area, the light gray part, and it's not happening at that time. It's happening late. So we do have a problem with our timing. So yeah, it sucks to be that technician that gotta pull this engine back down again and apart, but I mean, the data explains itself. We have an issue with our timing that's causing our exhaust valve to open late. And the towers are definitely not symmetrical, right? So that's basically, I have leaning towers, as Mr. Bernio would say. So that let me know that I have a mechanical issue with this vehicle. Is it cylinder wash? No, it's not. Basically, the timing is definitely off. My exhaust valve is opening when it's not supposed to. So everything is pushed to the right, which means retard. So that definitely let me know that I have a restriction in my exhaust. So of course, if the exhaust valves are closed and it's gonna build pressure, right, and it's not supposed to, right, it's supposed to let that gases out. And also you can tell by the other waveform it's not uniform and my towers are not symmetrical, so it's definitely letting me know that I have a mechanical fault on this vehicle, right? So that's the end of the diagnosing. I mean, it wasn't fancy, it wasn't no big thing, but I hope you learned something. If you have any questions, don't forget to leave your comments down in the box, right? Like, subscribe, share, comment, all that good stuff. And you know how we do, but we definitely have a faulty timing, and that's causing my valve to open at the wrong time and causing a restriction in my exhaust and other valves too. I'm not gonna check each and every one cylinder, but as I said, man, it's finished, right? So don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, man. Till next time, take it easy.